You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for Mob Wives. Tonight's host is Pat Lambert. Joining Pat will be AfterBuzz co-host Courtney Stewart, and tonight's special guest, Tanya Chisholm. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Mob Wives news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, Pat Lambert.
Hello. What up? Wow, that was such a harmony. That was such a chorus of excitement.
Oh, yes,
Welcome to motherfucking Mob Wives.
Yeah,
Happy
guns
Monday
blazing.
This was an amazing episode, season finale of Mob Wives, the new premiere season. Real Housewives of New Jersey has its street cred in Jersey now. Mob Wives quickly encroaching and becoming the new season and premiere of everything that you need to know about Jersey.
Who's ready?
Ladies, let's get this on, like Dorita and Karen on
something
a fistful of a night. Tanya.
Tanya Chisholm here. Don't marry someone who says, go fuck yourself. I'm just saying. And don't marry someone who would say that to you.
See, that's a qualification for me. I like the snarky types.
You need somebody to say.
You need somebody to be like, go fuck yourself.
So you can be like, go fuck yourself.
No, if that phrase was on Facebook, I would
sweet makeup
dislike
love.
it.
Yeah. No, if that were a phrase,
I would dislike it.
no way.
Like,
Christmas morning when I'm like, this isn't good enough. Go fuck yourself. That's what you should be. You know, like,
to your wife.
when you're having dinner and be like, this food doesn't taste good. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck
That's a
yourself.
Jersey protocol.
I just feel like it could be one of 3 things that qualifies a marriage. Just
Don't
marry someone.
Don't marry. What were the other
that
two?
says go fuck yourself.
Don't
do it.
Respect yourself.
I would say above that one probably don't marry someone in prison.
Well, he was
maybe.
in prison,
I mean,
but
it might
now
work for some.
married.
Don't marry someone who would
Is
go to
involved in
prison.
organized crime.
But don't
idea.
marry someone organized in what?
Don't marry someone who's involved in organized crime.
But if you do those 3 things, you will end up on TV.
Perhaps. So maybe it's not such a bad idea. So now
But
she has
then
a
don't
career.
stay married to somebody who goes back to jail a second time.
Oh, let's get into this
Well,
episode.
okay,
Let's get into this
okay,
episode.
Okay, this is very loaded.
going
I feel
too
like for
quickly.
all of us.
Opening a can of worms.
Okay, we got our 4 girls. We've got our 4 girls who we followed through the whole season.
There's only 3 of us.
All right.
Oh, I thought you meant us 3.
No. 4. What you mean? You ain't count me as the lady? We got our Drita, who's our
Drita
Eastern
Diabanzo.
European scary woman.
Wait, who's the
She's
Drita here?
Albanian.
Huh? Albanian.
Who's the Drita here? You,
Albanian.
Pat?
I've definitely.
I've been to Albania, actually.
You've been to Albania.
How is it? What's it like?
Was everyone in
It was
Albania like
very
Drita?
Eastern European.
Okay.
Well, you know.
But they have the
friend that's
best
Albanian.
ice cream in the world for only $1.
Wow.
See that?
Great.
It's Tanya,
Reason to go to Albania.
Albania, and Drita.
Get you some real
I
ice
see
cream.
a flag for the country.
Yeah.
Tourism
I'm using my
capital.
Cuisinart right now.
Let's go to it though. Drita, we've seen
Making
Drita,
homemade.
crazy woman. She's and her and Lee.
She's not crazy.
Okay, well let's get into it.
Drita's
Karen.
crazy.
To break it down,
That's in the eye of the
big
beholder,
Drita
apparently.
right here.
the
So.
big arch of tonight's episode was
Are we going there
Karen.
first?
Karen is writing this book about her life, about her history in the
Karen
mob.
sucks.
Okay,
Sorry.
give her a chance.
I can't. I
She
have all
gives one of the chapters to Drita.
Look at her.
And the chapter may mention Drita's husband, Lee. Now, we know that there's a big tangled history with when did the 2 hook up with Lee.
But isn't that all bullshit, though? Like,
I don't know. It is.
honestly,
Are we
you're going
going
to
there?
trip on...
It seems that no one, but that, wait
roll
for
through
it.
it.
Drita
We got to peek.
does not like,
We're climbing the mountain right now.
We're in the foreplay.
She does not
Pat's
like
trying to climb the mountain.
that Karen, she does
But he
not
can't
like,
see us on the mountain because he got his sunglasses on.
she does not like that Karen has mentioned her husband in this book. Not
But
that
she doesn't know.
because she hasn't read it because she
She
can't
don't
read.
know. Right.
Though she did use some big
not
terms.
that she can't read. She just doesn't want to read it.
She doesn't want
I think
to.
it's better. I think it was a good decision on her part not to read it.
No.
I disagree.
So,
Who
okay.
wants to hear anything negative about your baby daddy?
Drita, Karen. So
Regardless
now
of where your
Drita,
relationship's
now the
at.
two, they have one meeting. They've become friends somehow. They've reconciled
Well,
their differences.
Not really.
Ish.
But
Hold
then
on.
they break apart, and then it gets feistier.
Well, yes, and because when she, what's her face, Karen, talking about she was giving her the book, but
Ooh, what's
she
her
was,
butterface?
What? I just,
And here she is now.
Girls, you are not in the
That's
mob.
Karen.
Play nice. Just because
That's
Karen's an
true.
oversized Oompa Loompa does
That's
not
what
mean
you think,
that we need to
honey.
make
call
fun of
her an
her.
oversized Oompa Loompa. That is so bogus.
Sorry.
Well, she gave her this chapter to read,
Yeah.
but she had a little caveat along with it, like, I'm not going to change nothing. I don't care what you really think, but I'm going to give it to you.
But that's because Drita.
Right,
Exactly.
but
Okay.
I think that from her perspective, like, we don't know what's in the chapter yet.
No one
I
does.
think that she didn't mention him at all, and she wanted to give it to him, just give it to her to just
Just
say,
out of
like,
respect.
out of respect, and say like, look, I didn't put anything about you in the book.
Karen
I
even
feel like
says-
that situation
she
is
even-
totally.
yeah, she even said
She
it.
even said she was like,
I just gave it to her.
know.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
She's
that
like, I
Drita-
would never talk poorly about Lee, but Drita's
Not that she would never, but she didn't
perception
want
of
to.
that
She didn't
whole
need to.
situation is that you're not going to talk shit about my baby
Drita-
daddy.
'cause
So it's
Drita-
just
all right, to
an
put it-
ongoing animosity.
You know I'm a big Drita fan. You know.
We love
we
Drita.
love Drita.
Who isn't?
But she's entirely on the wrong here.
Oh, no, she is not.
Explain yourself. 'Cause she
No,
receives, you receive a memoir.
Okay,
You
hold
are
on,
scared.
hold on.
No.
Go ahead,
You
finish.
receive a
Let
memoir.
me get your argument
you
all
are,
the way out.
You are
You
scared.
receive a
You
memoir.
are scared that someone's talking shit about somebody that you love in a memoir. You're scared. You're nervous
Okay.
about it. They hand you that memoir with the intent to prove that they did not talk shit about that person. You don't read it.
but you
kick
don't
them
know
out of your
that they
house.
have that intent.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
thing.
Well,
that's
that's
the
why
issue.
he's
She
giving his
doesn't know
argument.
that she has
Okay,
intent.
so she doesn't
But
have
that's
to-
the whole
argument.
the whole terrible thing about the show. Like,
The only thing
they
that can
just
be
need to
proven is
talk to each other. That's
why
all.
doesn't she
Exactly.
why doesn't she just read it?
Here's the deal.
They both
I
missed the
think-
communication
Yeah.
bus.
Why does she go?
I
Why does she
think-
jump off a bridge into crazy and say like,
She
I
did
can't
not
talk
jump
to
off
Karen?
the
Because
bridge
that's her
into crazy.
personality.
No, what she did was that she recognizes what is about herself that is a little bit of an issue. She's got temper and she's aggressive. Okay.
Okay, and when did she reconcile that?
She recognizes it. She's recognized it since the first episode. If you
She
remember,
knows she's
and
a crazy bitch.
when-
That doesn't mean
she
it's right.
knows since the first episode.
Okay.
She
It's a
is
prerequisite
working
for the show.
on not being more of that. Okay, so this chick gives her this chapter.
Yeah.
And as she says to her little friend that shows up at the house in the last episode, she's like, I don't know why she's giving me this. Why wouldn't she give this to like Renee or somebody? Like, I'm not her friend like that for her to be sharing this with me. Okay, fine.
Why? What's wrong with that?
But she knows that if there's something in that book that would cause her to be extremely upset and therefore delve into the negative, real crazy, I'm gonna beat your ass kind of crazy, it's better off she doesn't know.
Ignorance
better
is
off-
bliss.
She leaves it alone
Then if
and
she-
doesn't look
then
at
if
it.
that's the road that she's going to take, then she would have had to just take it, leave it, not read it, and
she
not
didn't
go
read it.
there.
Right.
But instead, she
didn't read
she
it.
chooses not to read it, and then goes on the crazy train into hating or attacking Karen and
But
not wanting to
why
be
was
friends
she
with her.
attacking Karen?
Because
Which
she
I
thought
get it.
Why
that the
was she
memoir would
attacking
have
Karen?
something in there.
Well,
Tanya,
She feels
Tanya
like she
never
has to
said
lay
this.
out
I
some
get
more
it
issues.
because here's the thing: when the timeline is important on Drea's like
Drea, yeah.
side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like for her, it's like in my heart, I didn't
do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything
And I
wrong.
didn't
Like
attack my
it was
friend.
2 years.
I don't want to be villainized by this.
Right.
Yeah.
We weren't really good friends
That
at the
makes sense.
time, and like you know what I mean. So, but on the other girl's part, like.
Karen is definitely trying to demonize her and make it seem like
Well, but on
we
her
were
part,
tight.
that's true. Like, if anyone I knew, which that happened to me once, like someone I knew, like dated a boy that I dated, and it doesn't matter like how much like rationally, like
It makes
oh,
sense,
well,
it
it's
just
been.
happened.
That's
It's just
the
like
conversation.
no, you don't do that.
The
That's
thing is,
the-
So
oh,
for
that's-
both people,
that's
it like
good.
makes sense for each other. You know what I mean?
That's good. Is it ever okay for somebody, a friend, to date an ex?
I feel like
Yeah,
Thank
I think it's
you.
okay, but to you, it doesn't
People are
feel
people.
different, even though you
But,
rationally know, you know,
and I
oh,
will-
that's fine.
when
It
you
doesn't
run in
feel
the same
different.
circles, I mean, it's bound to happen. And honestly, if
Right.
Karen
Thing is, they
really had a
didn't run
problem with
these-
it, maybe she would have brought that shit up a little earlier.
They didn't run in these same circles because Karen,
Right.
Karen gets disenchanted. Apparently, we've learned at the end of the episode that the two weren't really that close after a while.
Right.
And then she moves to Arizona.
And
So she didn't do, and she had
for
another
how long?
boyfriend, and
Karen
she was
straight
like,
fell
"Oh,
off.
I was
Karen
cheating on him the whole
shady.
time."
Let's
Okay.
Yeah, let's
because
air that
I'm
out.
gonna,
All over
we're
the
gonna,
United
we're gonna get to the
States.
part. We're gonna get to the reunion. They,
I
they
cannot
sit,
wait.
At the end, Drita's angry about this whole situation. Still has not read the memoir. So wants the four of them to get together.
wouldn't
One,
read
because
that
it makes good
crap
TV,
either.
and two, because I'm gonna buy the book.
Well,
She wants to get the four together because there's interpretations on either side.
Karen's a
because
pigeon.
Drita You are teach me how to doggy.
Teach me how
But
to do it.
Drita hears from what's my big girl's name? Renee.
Big girl.
That
I love that we've been calling her big girl all season.
But honestly, who's the big girl on this season?
I think
Not
she's
Renee.
stunning.
okay. Anyways, but I love big girls. That's not a thing. I'm just
Karen.
saying. Okay,
Stunning.
and back to it.
I bet you
Drita
do like
Drita
big
has
girls,
heard
Kat.
from Renee.
Round.
Drita heard from Renee.
Yes.
That apparently Drita had hooked up with Lee from Karen. So Karen told Renee that it hooked up within the same year.
Karen told everybody that.
And Drita gets that, and Drita's like, that's
So
not
that's
true.
not true.
Like, I would, if I were your friend, I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have been your friend if I was going to choose that guy. I would have chosen the guy over you.
Right.
I'm not that kind of girl. The point of the thing is, though, to bring it back to the first argument, which is why they go into the reunion fight in the way that they do, Drita is anxious about what Karen's digging up in this memoir, but then neglects to actually look at anything that's in the memoir.
It's one chapter.
But like, how hard is it to read that
The
one
point
chapter?
is that whatever
wanna
it
open
is,
the
she has
floodgate.
proven already that she's a problem. And if she gets more detail and has it in paper in front of her, Drita
Then
has
she can
a
make an
level
informed
of crazy
decision,
that-
because
It's
Karen
not
is
an
saying-
informed decision.
Karen is saying
her
that she
decision
doesn't-
is already informed. The trick is a trick. She knows she's a trick
No,
because
because
she's
Karen
already
doesn't
lying.
actually-
She's already lying. Karen is already lying to everybody and telling everybody that this chick was my best friend.
She's like, I'm
and
so
you
hurt
took my
about it.
boyfriend and I'm so much pain.
Thing
And
is,
Drita's like,
there's
are you
two-
kidding? You F my boyfriend. So how are you like?
She
she's
up
a liar.
everybody's man up in
So,
this season.
and she says in that scene, she goes, she's already a liar. So whatever else would come with it is only going to be more lies. That's why I don't trust
But
her.
don't you think that if Drita had read the chapter, that this would have turned out differently?
I
Yes,
think if Drita had
absolutely
read the
not.
chapter, she might have shot her.
That's what I'm
we,
saying.
Because
none of
we
us know
hear-
what's in the chapter.
But we hear-
so we'd rather her not be in jail with Lee.
What is Karen's? what would Karen's
I don't think
motivation
her
be?
intention was to be. I think
She-
there was nothing about him in
She
the
has
chapter.
no motivation with the memoir
there's
to
nothing
even.
about
I
him.
think she probably was like, I dated a guy. His name potentially was. Lee.
I don't even think he's
I
in
agree.
it. I
And
think
all
that she
other
gave
than
it to her to like prove to her
prove.
like I didn't put him in the book. Like I
Because
know I
this is
said
my-
that shit,
But it was one chapter. She ain't proven nothing by
But
giving me
Karen-
the first chapter
No,
that
no,
she wrote.
That's all she's written.
But yeah, and it also
that's what
it's
I'm
like
saying,
you're
there's
writing a
still a
book.
whole
Like,
book
can you
left.
imagine like
Tanya,
this
Tanya
person
and I are
writing a
agreeing
book?
here,
She's
Courtney.
like so excited. Like
Yeah.
I'm writing a book.
Yeah, she actually thinks
We
that
are
parties
not
for her.
friends.
book
Yeah, like,
parties
please,
and
like,
we
chapter
read my
are
book.
not
But
friends.
the two of them were friends.
We
They got,
are not. No,
might
I
have
would
used to
venture
live
to. I would like
together.
to submit
Venture to say.
that they would not act. They were never actually friends, and they were both kind of shady back in the day. And
Okay,
it was like
but
that.
that's
fake-
all-
Didn't
But-
they used to be roommates? There was
were
something
roommates
made mention for
Okay,
a quick
side.
second.
But the
They
thing
ain't friends
is,
for real.
they, within the last few episodes, have found their own reconciliation, just like we've seen many on the Housewives come together and say, let's let the past be the past.
Same
and
shit.
they did it, and Drita got angry about the idea that Lee would be mentioned in this memoir, which turns her into the kind of
Crazy.
the Tasmanian
Karen
devil.
came over to her house, bashing
Yeah,
her
she
husband
did.
in
She was.
her
Yeah,
house.
she was like, I don't
She
care.
didn't
like,
come at her with love. Like,
will
we had a
happen.
rough relationship. I want to talk about what I went through, why I was dating someone that does the things that he does. She didn't come at her like
Well,
that.
see,
She came at him, calling him out his name, all up in her house.
See, I think that the situation starts with love, but then just ends up in crazy.
Well, that's what I thought. I think it's funny that I was like, I wrote down. I was like, why don't any of these girls like actually come to each other? Like, if they initially, when they have problems with each other, if they just said like, listen, I had a problem with you saying this, like it would have cut out so much drama. and
There's
so
no
many punches
communication.
in the
These
face.
bitches are way too hard in the yard. They're
so
not going to
hard.
sit
It's just
down
so
to communicate
weird. It's
and
like-
read a book.
And
What's the
They're just
longest
gonna go
possible direction we
balling
can
out
go
on your
to?
ass.
Most people aren't
find a
that
solution.
gifted in communication when emotions are involved. Like when
No.
feelings are hurt.
It's
and
simple.
I
People,
agree.
like most
It's always
people
easier
aren't-
when you
It's
have an
so
outside
simple.
source.
It's like, how do I get
like,
what I want?
To
Tanya?
get past it. Yeah.
But then, and again, I was like, it's as if I'm arguing on the side against Drita. We get to the final reunion, which they go out to New York City, really nice rooftop bar
was
in
very
the summer,
nice.
beautiful, great
I
lighting,
wanted
great
to be
music.
invited to that.
That was a nice spot. Like, I think I've been there. It's a really
very
great
nice.
place.
It was a classy little
my
joint,
dream.
It's a
wasn't it?
classy
A
little
classy
joint,
establishment.
which they quickly turned the
made-
tables on.
Ruined.
They quickly took New York
They
to
got
New Jersey.
security, don't
like,
trip.
they just bring New
Spanx
Jersey with
and
them.
Cooters and everything.
So the
Oh,
girls,
yeah.
the girls
Bitches came
go
prepared.
in, and Renee, who I really never liked on this show, this was the episode that I liked her a lot. She was so entertaining because she loves this drama.
She loves it.
She can't wait. It's no longer her drama, so now she can enjoy it.
Yeah. She's like, as long as I'm sitting on the sidelines watching this,
I'm not the one crying.
Loved it. Do you see her like rocking back and forth? She was just like waiting.
She was like,
I wore this comfortable outfit for a reason.
You know that
if
it was her drama, if it was her drama, those tables would have like burned a lot. Like no one would be alive in that restaurant. She would have like whipped out the Uzi and killed them all.
Really, but in her therapy session, she is talking about how she feels so
she's cleansed herself from like this like world of hate.
Do we believe that? Because I don't for a second.
No. I feel like
I think it's a nice idea.
Junior gonna be right up in there as soon as he out of jail
wait. We're skipping over the part that really gives the heart to Drita in this whole episode. We're getting too excited about the fights. Drita finds out about Lee and his infidelity. So what happened was Lee, they got married. They got married in July of whatever year.
2000.
And then, And 2.5, 3 weeks later, he's in prison for the first time. In prison for now 7 years. Comes out and is out for 2 years. And then goes back to prison. And she's still waiting for him. But she finds out.
That is a committed girl. That is commitment.
This is the saddest part. And that's always been the great thing about Drita is that she's been so loyal. And even like you don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we never had a reason. We never had a reason to dislike.
You respect it. Exactly.
Yeah, we respect the fact that she's really trying to like hold on.
Hold on for her man.
She goes to a salon where one of these women, she's never been there, points to her daughter and says, "Oh my God, is Kalila or whatever the name is?
Aaliyah. After Lee.
And she goes, is that your daughter Aaliyah? She can watch TV over here." And Drita's like, how do you know my daughter's name?
Hold up.
How do you know my daughter? And she was like,
actually,
which is funny because I don't know if I would ever get that. I would never be like, oh, how do you know her name?
I'm sure she doesn't talk about her family.
Well, I think being from the mob,
upstanding citizens.
I don't think that I would have recognized that.
I think she's pretty protective of everything, especially her kids. So for a woman to know her kid's name, I think you'd be creeped out.
Her dad's a criminal,
or she'd be interested. She's like, and she even said when she was talking to Carla about it over drink, she was like, I didn't want to look like a crazy person, so I didn't call her out in front of like the whole place. I just wanted to know. So then she calls the owner of the salon and says like, hey,
get the intel.
This girl said that she hooked up, like, do you know? The salon owner says, yeah, she was hooking up with this guy over that summer. No, he wasn't married, but yes, he had a kid. And Drita's putting 1 + 1 together.
2 kids.
And there it is.
If you can't talk about these things in a salon, where can you?
Apparently, now again, it's allegedly. I mean, talk is
that's
talk.
True.
Talk is talk, and hair salons are like where people talk. But
that is so true.
It is too fishy for it not to be real, based on some reality. So then Drita is brokenhearted because out of everyone, she's the one who's had somewhat of a stable without being at all stable relationship, out of all of them. Yeah. And so she goes to a divorce attorney and asks about her options, which was very smart. And this was a really beautiful, enlightening moment that I've never seen Drita be, in my opinion, intelligent of sorts.
What?
Oh, I think she's very smart.
I'm sorry. When girls act like that, when they fight like that, when they throw like that, to me, you can seem very unintelligent. Right. If that's like the respect that you have for like social mores or like whatever, like how you behave in public, then I don't give you much credibility for you being intelligent.
Agreed.
You know?
But it's not necessarily true.
It doesn't mean that you're dumb. It doesn't mean that you're dumb. But if you're going to do those things, it does not mean that you're smart.
It certainly doesn't make you look good.
It doesn't make you look
good, but it doesn't necessarily indicate your intelligence.
I think she's.
I don't know. I think the way that you behave
intellectual.
I think that the way that you behave
emotional.
is a direct relation to the environment that you are surrounded by and the way that you.
But it's not.
You do have a decision.
I mean, we live in.
There's plenty of environments that you live in where defending yourself and fighting is an acceptable social mores.
Such as in Jersey, you just flip tables and punch girls in the face in front of other people.
It's true, but you have to know.
She knows that she spoke even on her Twitter about growing up in public housing. That's an environment that is very specific.
And so did my dad, and he would never do anything like that. He doesn't even swear.
You don't know where he is. You don't know where her parents were. You don't know who her parents were. You don't know anything about it.
Good point.
So
it's totally true.
It's just like environments.
But look at her house now. She's living in a big...
And if you have the strength to make a different decision, that's what makes you smart.
I think that she recognizes that she should be making different decisions.
Work in progress. Work in progress.
No, that's totally true. I just feel like also like at this, like in this time, like having so much like on the internet and like it's not like you don't know how people are supposed to
live
act
at her house
in
right
public.
now. Like it's not
to have
exactly
not have that respect for yourself.
She's not
to be like,
still living
I
in the
feel
projects.
ashamed.
She's not from like a third world
to
country and
act
doesn't
like
know
this.
another way of life.
Right.
She has television. She knows how
Like
people
if you
act.
have questions, Google.
You know exactly, or Bing. You know. Or
I
Bing.
think that's
Product
interesting.
I mean, you're certainly a product of your raising, but it doesn't mean
well,
that
I'm not
your
saying
raising is everything you are.
Stop
it's not about
there.
being unaware at all.
Right.
You can be aware of a lot of different things and still people continue to live in patterns that are in existence
Entirely.
in their
And she
lives
does
But being
and
an
their
adult
culture
is
and all of
recognizing
that.
So you know, I'll take it.
Right.
I'll take back a bit.
So-
I'm just saying that from the character that I had experienced thus far, Drita did not seem like a very informed citizen. Is that wrong of me? I'm not stereotyping or anything, but I am saying when you act like that, and that's the only way that I see you act.
Right.
I'm
The
not
proof
very
is kind of in the
emotional.
pudding.
I'm not prone to connect with you on like an emotional level, but this was the episode where it turned around because there she is. She's brokenhearted. She's analytical. She's smart about it. I actually was really impressed by when she said, I wasn't going to call out this salon girl in front of everybody. Because I would think of the way that she acts all the
Right.
time.
I'd be
She
like,
would
well,
have
she
like,
would've-
ripped that
yeah.
girl's weave out. You know, like that would have been a whole
Totally.
thing.
Totally.
No? Courtney, give me a
She's got plenty other.
I know you're holding
plenty
back.
other battles to fight.
Holding back
Honestly,
on what?
I don't know. It looks like you're thinking about something.
I'm
saving
just
it for
listening.
later.
I'm just listening.
But I found it great the way that she conducted herself with that divorce attorney and really pursued
I
her
do
options.
too, but that
you know?
like super like
Oh, it's
made
so
me
sad.
so sad.
Awful.
It was like really.
But it was like a good message from this kind of, you know, awful message. So show that she's been so good and loyal to her husband, and that because of this, she would leave. You know, there's so many girls who would stay in a destructive relationship, and you would clarify if your husband's in prison for 12 years, probably a destructive relationship, but she's gonna get out for herself.
Right, but what I don't like is that the focus is on her getting out, and like the focus isn't on the man. Like, don't do that.
That's
like,
another big part of this whole thing.
It's-
Is Lee's absence. Lee, like another man character who we never even see.
all of the men are absent.
All of the absent men
And they
are
need to be there.
destroying these women's lives.
lives. Yeah.
And the
But
women.
the women allow it to
I was
happen.
gonna say, they're not
but how
destroying
but how
anybody's
sad it is for
lives.
these
Get
women.
yeah,
out.
but it's
Get
not.
out.
That's not the same. It's like we like need each other. We're humans who are dependent on other people,
I
and then
don't
you're
wanna-
married to someone. Like, of course,
Yeah, I
your
don't- I
husband's
mean-
gonna destroy your life if he goes in jail.
I don't want
like,
to come in like a feminist or something, but you know, I love my ladies because I'm a mo. But I'm saying, like, women should be sticking up for each other, right? Especially in an environment like
If they're
when
worth
all of
sticking
your
up
husbands,
for, possibly.
if all of your husbands are in jail, and all you've got are your friends, really, to help take care of your life, and you're ripping each other's hair out over the guys in prison. Isn't
Totes,
that
but I just
sad?
feel like the guys are also being very excused from this whole situation.
They're
like,
lucky they're in
being,
jail.
Well,
Drita
no,
even
no,
said it.
but I'm saying I feel like they're being their involvement with everything and like their responsibility is being very excused.
Honestly, who
Okay.
cares about their responsibility? If you're unhappy in a relationship, get the fuck out and hit the ground running.
No, what I'm saying is that that's exactly what a lot of them are trying to do. But this show has become like, it's almost like Army Wives for these women, the mob wives. Like, you have to watch them endure
Mob
the
wives on
pain.
Army Wives.
You have to watch them endure the pain of their husband's mistakes and of their husband's decisions.
Right, but I'm saying I don't think that
Over and over, and then
they're
tearing each
being
other's hair
held
out.
accountable for it. But I don't
no.
think their husbands like no one ever says like, oh, like why did her husband cheat on her? Like
Exactly.
it's just like, oh, why
And
is
why-
she staying with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the focus is all on the girl.
It's all on the
When I
girls, as
feel
if-
like they didn't do anything
Why
wrong.
wasn't
like, it's-
Lee confronted about this situation in the finale?
Because he's in prison.
Oh, but he does call once in a
We
while.
did see a teaser of her talking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
So season 2's got something hidden in it.
I just
Can't
really,
wait.
But anyways, we get to there.
Speaking
So-
of disruptive relationships, what about Joe and her man?
Oh, Joe and Carla?
Yeah.
We can go with that.
Joe.
So
Or, excuse me,
Carla,
Carla and her
Joe,
man. My
Joe's
bad.
now out of prison.
Yes,
And he's in a halfway house.
And I love how she refers to him as her ex at this point. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, you still married. I see
And
you.
P.S. She
But she
never
doesn't see
told
it.
her kids that he was in jail.
But neither did Drita. Drita didn't tell her 3-year-old that, like, I
Well,
mean,
the
a 3-year-old's
3-year-old's
3-year-old, but,
different.
like,
A 9-year-old.
Like, what would you do? Like, I want to say these poor kids because they don't know, but at the same time, like, being a mother to that situation, what do you do?
I mean, this
yeah,
is a
but
bit.
how could
she
you
told
tell-
them that they
how
were
could you?
he was somewhere else. Like he was
But I don't-
working.
but
Like,
on
that's
vacation.
weird.
I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Up
that's so wrong
north.
because in those like kind of formative years, like maybe it's best to hide that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do
you
you
know,
do?
what
What
could that
age is it
influence
okay?
be? You know,
I'm not saying
Like,
it's
I
wrong. I'm
found
just saying
out-
it's weird because she told them he was doing something else. So it's like
So
like
when
you're just
she
lying
does-
to them
right.
the entire time.
When they
So,
actually
like-
watch this show, they're gonna be like,
You were lying
Well,
to
he
me.
finally told them, right? When she picked him up,
Yeah.
he finally
but then they
clearly.
realized that whole time, those whole 2 years, that their mother was lying to them. I just feel like that's strange.
I think it's
Lying, but maybe they'll go
But
through a
at the
process
same
to realize
time, when
she
he
was
first
protecting
went to
them.
jail,
Right.
wasn't he in jail for like 5 years? And
Yeah.
the kids are maybe, what, 8 or 9 now?
Yeah, they're grown up.
So I guess it's one of those, like,
So, but Carla,
they were too
he's
young
in a
when it
halfway house.
happened
Your
to tell the
father.
truth.
Hi.
But then at what
Carla,
point?
out of all of them, has been the strongest woman through and
Yeah,
through. You know, like
agreed.
she was like, he wronged me, and I'm out.
And I'm out.
And she says ex-husband because like they didn't file for a divorce, but she's like, you're not a part of this.
But he is going
I've
to come
raised
up
these
and live in
kids."
that house with.
Well, so then he calls and
Potentially.
he says, I'm going to try to get a place when I get out of this halfway house, but don't be shocked if I show up on your doorstep.
I think
She
they wanna be
laughs.
together.
She laughs at it, but then realizes, shit, he's probably going to show up on my doorstep. But she was pretty strong and resolved about like, no,
bad
like, you got to
idea.
figure out your life. Like, I know this is a bad idea to live with your ex because she sees him as an ex. Whether it is on paper, she sees
Right.
him as an ex.
But I don't respect that more than I respect her decision. Like,
Oh,
I
I
respect
think-
both of the decisions.
I think
like,
both
the
It's the
women-
same.
divorce attorney.
Because she's actually living up to what she promised.
Oh, right. I respect
mean-
these two girls a lot. I think these two girls,
poor
with their
girl.
relationships,
She is.
I mean, Carla's found a lot of inner strength to kind of move on and keep chugging
No,
along.
totally. And you have to do that sometimes. But the fact is, like, you
Wait,
promise for better or for worse. So
Wait, has she found
when
inner
it's
strength
for
to move
worse.
on? Has she?
Yeah.
Because
worse?
she
Carla's
still
the one
does
that-
everything for him. She basically invites him back
But that doesn't,
into the house.
Moving on doesn't
she
mean
flirts
you,
with him.
Yeah, but moving on doesn't mean that you kill someone and bury them dead. Like,
Right.
he's still a part of her life, whether she likes it or not. He is the father of her
Have you
kids.
met
you
these
know?
characters?
Letting her be.
She's found the barriers, and out of all the men that we've seen like talk over the phone, he's been pretty respectful to her.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And when he stepped out of line, she was like, "All right, done. Like, we're not going to talk."
Later.
Yep.
You know, like I'm the one who's not in jail. I'm the one who's not making the bad decisions.
Yeah.
And I think he's really I think her strength has actually inspired him a bit. So I hope he doesn't move in. I hope he does realize that he has some
I
ground
hope they
to
get
make
back
up.
together.
That's
I hope they
kind
get
of what
back
I want
together.
to, but
And I
it's
think-
kind of
I think it's like the best
dysfunctional.
thing.
But
I think that they'll get there. I think that they'll get there. I just think that
Courtney-
she needs to set those
Courtney's
barriers.
like, child. No.
I think they could be a good couple, but Joe can't come in all of a sudden and expect her to keep him alive
Right.
because she's been waiting this whole time.
All I have to
He's
say
gotta work his way back
is
in.
that most of them that end up in jail end up going back.
Which is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
And it takes a lot of
but
resolve.
Society,
But
along
I
with
think-
their own resolve,
I
getting
think
back
he's
together.
I think he's more likely to go
you
back
cut
in.
it loose now. The kids are
They think
healthy.
one way.
They have a way of thinking and think that's why she didn't want him living there because it sends
Yeah.
a message to the kids like he's gonna be here, and then to make him leave again, it's a mess. Like
It must
But
be
I
even
think-
crazier having
I think
kids
that
involved in
he would be
that
more likely,
situation.
I think, to go back to prison if he were to move in with her. Because that's going to like usher in the
The
cycle where
same
like
thing.
he takes
The same
advantage
thing.
of he's not standing up on his own 2 feet,
Right.
Which is how men when they get out of prison find a way to stay out of prison is when they find a way to take care of
Sometimes.
themselves. Oh, it's an awful
sometimes
battle.
the way they find to take care of themselves is the same way that they ended up in prison.
Right.
Because
But if someone else just
options-
takes care, but out of
it breaks
respect for
my
her,
heart.
she has been motivating him through the kids to keep clean or to like
No.
stay on a good path and pushing him to say like, no, you got to figure out your own shit.
But he was white collar crime, so maybe he's got a
I
chance.
have, he was only white collar,
Maybe he's got a chance.
I have hope for that
He was
relationship.
Wall Street.
Me too.
I'm very
hope
hopeful.
they
And
stay
she's
positive
super
for
cute.
their
Kill
kids.
anybody.
And she's
Well,
and
that
Tanya
we
has a
know
little bit of a
about.
crush on her.
Stay positive for the kids.
Really like her.
So there are
He's
there
a
all
felon.
those,
He
and
can't
then
do nothing
Renee
for you, honey.
Renee had recently
get
cut
that
Joe.
money.
He's a felon.
Renee
Gonna
had cut
get
Joe
that
out of her
Can't
life.
even vote.
Which is great. Like, she really needed to do that.
Yes, Renee cut Joe Jr. out of her life,
Yeah, right.
or Joe Sr. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
You
we'll
think?
see.
Why yeah right?
We'll see at the
You're right.
reunion.
Why yeah right?
He gonna come back. That's a sick,
But why?
It's the
sick
cycle.
cycle.
In
She is
every
not
single
free from
one of
that.
So
them.
does that mean that you don't believe when she's with a therapist and she's saying I've turned a new page? You didn't believe that.
I want
think
to
that
believe
she-
it.
I saw
think
some-
it's the
did.
beginning of her reformation.
Right, yes.
Oh, definitely.
It's not
But
like
I don't think it's
same.
anywhere
I
near
think
over.
part of her wants to, and I think that it'll
it's-
last for a little while, and he'll come back.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
if
big
you don't
move.
fully commit to that decision, then you're gonna be right back where you started.
Tanya?
Well, the thing is like, if you, I mean, you just never know. Like, you've had relationships that are like, they're the, like,
They're it.
Familiar.
it's your,
We're-
it's,
Yep.
this
Yeah.
person is my family.
Sometimes love
and so
ain't
you can't,
enough, girl.
No, I know. And it's not, I think with them, it's not even like that they're in
not-
love.
Right.
It's
But
familiar.
they love,
They
it's
haven't-
not even familiar. It's
They're
their
comfortable with each other.
family.
Yeah.
Their
I
family.
think even
That's
with,
what it is.
I think with Renee, it goes even a little bit deeper that she kind of wants to have someone.
That thing to
even
take
if it's
care
a
of and
piece
to
of shit.
protect.
You know,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
wants someone to cook for. She wants someone to sleep
Renee
next
needs
to.
to date
Oh
a
my
real
God,
estate
I'm
consultant.
so Renee.
Get out of that habit.
Well done. That was good. And
Thanks.
Break the habit.
Thanks.
Boo.
Please.
that's my new monologue.
Go to rehab.
That's my
Let's do
monologue
it
for-
together.
Yes, let it go.
But I think Renee
He's
has
a
hope.
felon. All he can do is
No,
beat
I
up the
think
boys
so
at the
too.
bar for you.
Perhaps.
I think Renee has hope.
Or make
I
him
think-
apologize
I
like that
think
one episode.
Courtney, I think you give up too easily on that girl.
Are you
You
kidding
love
me?
her.
You just called Drina dumb. But then
No, I said that
But
she.
Renee is capable
AfterBuzz
of suddenly
brawl.
just
No, no,
because
no.
this dude, all he did was cheat. He's cheated a million times before. Nothing about her life is any different. She has not moved. She has not changed her environment. She hasn't done anything to make her environment and her
going to
space around
therapy.
her different. She's been in therapy for the whole damn. Come on now.
No, that's true, but I'm saying I can appreciate that stuckness.
I understand
Like, I
it.
can see
Yeah.
it, and I can be like,
totally
I
understand
get
it.
it.
No, no,
I
look at-
get
But
it.
it's still stuckness.
But
It's
look
still
at her
stuck.
process. Look
It's
at her
still
process.
stuck, but it's not.
You
can't.
still in
It's
the
not.
quicksand.
She's not there forever.
He gonna show up. It's gonna be like 2 days before he's gotta go and turn himself in, and he's gonna be like, Renee, please.
You know.
And she's
I
gonna
think-
be like, okay.
I'm not saying
And
that-
then she's gonna be writing him in jail because she feels bad because who's gonna write him? And then she's gonna find out some other chicks are writing him, and it's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
the same bull crap.
No. I totally agree, and we have the information to back that up because she says
You trying to get word with all these girls?
I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
wait.
just
I'm gonna
saying,
wait
but
to
she-
hear the other side.
She's like, I divorced my husband 12 years ago and let
And
a
the
bitch try to
chick's
fuck
still
him.
trying
You
to
know
mess
what I'm
with
saying?
him.
And if she was really over it, she would let that shit go.
They're
Like, let him
like
be
this.
happy.
She would have to make some major abrupt, like monumental, like life-changing.
Somebody get this girl pregnant.
see,
It's
please.
too much. Yeah, because the thing
Mailman,
is,
somebody.
okay, here's my theory on this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good theory because it's something
think
that
it's a
I have
good
been
theory.
learning. That like if you, I mean, she had a child with this person. You're just like when we look at it, you're just like, oh, it's a relationship. Like
Yeah,
you
it's
had a
much
baby.
deeper than that. There was
Like
time.
it's so much deeper. And the other thing is like if you don't have something that fills that spot, like if you don't have another person who
Right.
like deeply like loves you in
Then
you
it's
know,
so-
in your heart,
it's
Is a
gonna be
baby
easier.
a
replace-
reason to stay together?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as the
It's an
as like a
attachment.
significant other. No, it is an attachment, and it's like you're gonna be attached your entire life. But I'm saying like once you've been loved, like in your heart, it's hard to not do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
Especially if you're not filling the void.
like right. I'm exactly
what
like
I bring
I was-
these girls up in here and just
I
have
was-
an intervention.
I was not arguing that it was going to work out for her, or even.
I just
don't even
understand
think,
it.
I don't even think it's going to be an easy battle. I think it's going to be a long uphill
Yeah.
battle for that girl.
How old
but
is Renee?
I have hope that it's going to work out for her.
22.
me too, because she's on the
Because
journey.
watching this show over the last season, it went from her deep conviction for him, so that she loved Joe and she would never leave, and she was kind of proud of him but hated him, a love-hate, to when she's looking for a new man, taking
I
the
think
first
I'm
step.
gonna date.
But she even had a big concern. She was like, I don't know if I love the mob wife lifestyle.
Exactly.
It's
I
almost
know
like
it's
her
bad
and
for me.
Drina were in the same situation.
You know,
back
I
then.
know it's bad for me, but something about it love. And now here she is saying, I have made the decision within myself that that's not the right lifestyle.
No, she never said that.
In that last thing,
all
she said, I am
was,
moving away from
I
Joe.
love myself more and I'm moving away from Junior. She didn't say she's moving away from this lifestyle.
But Junior
She didn't say-
represents that lifestyle.
Junior does not represent that lifestyle. She is
Her
that lifestyle.
family.
Her family's that lifestyle.
family's
Everything
all
about her
incarcerated.
existence is that lifestyle. Her dad was the head of a freaking
Hey,
mob
gang,
family.
But you don't see her. You don't see her doing any of those destructive things anymore. You know, she's not
Yeah, I
involved
think she's in
in
the
mob.
journey to get away
It's
from
that
it.
she,
It'll take a
she
while.
was no her argument that about the mob lifestyle. She's never going to get it back. That family's
she's-
not going to be.
she's
That
always
family's
in
not
it
going to be back
forever.
on the streets. That
Right.
family, they're over.
It
That
doesn't-
decade's
it's
over.
a mentality, though. It doesn't have to be.
It was
they
a
don't
need.
Have,
It was not a mentality. It was a
mentality.
need.
It's a mentality.
She needed a man who was involved in that lifestyle because she was attracted to the destruction of it. She was attracted to bad
power
boys.
and
That's
the
why she was
power,
fighting about
yeah.
the mob lifestyle thing. She was saying, "I loved men who were bad because something about that destruction was interesting and fun for me."
Yeah, and that they like she could call them to be like, remember when that guy like
d- I want
disrespected
you
her?
to
It's
go
like,
fuck-
Junior, you come here right now.
You know,
and the
that's
fact
what-
that they would all come and
That's
now
what
that
she
doesn't
loved.
matter?
That's what she loved about the mob
and now
lifestyle.
that is gone.
The money from
Yeah.
the mob is gone.
Now that's gone.
The connections from the mob are gone. She's not
That
getting the
girl
tape.
is balling. Did you see that first? She was like,
Yeah, but the
in the
mob,
beginning.
mob
The
thing
money's
to her,
not gone.
her family's
the money is not
The mob
gone. The
thing is
money
not
is
gone.
That's not
in
necessarily
a couch
true.
cushion,
She's
a
on a
mattress,
TV show.
She's on a TV
something.
show. She's not
They
making
could have
money
just
from the mob anymore.
borrowed that that for
She's not-
from.
I think if she was really unhappy with the
set dressing.
situation, she would find a way to positively fill the void.
Okay, but
That's
this
not
is
true. I mean, how many times are you
job.
upset about
Yep.
like anything that happens in your life and you positively fill the I mean,
yeah.
there's a million times that you like not
I'm saying
positively fill
she's
the void.
making-
No,
she's making
of course,
small
but if you really
steps.
want to move on, you have to make yourself happy before you can invest yourself in something
no,
like a
true,
relationship.
but not people don't always do that.
All right.
Like
In a perfect
articulately.
world, that's what we would
You know
do.
what I mean?
In a perfect world, you'd realize.
always
like,
easy to say
if,
when you're
if
an
we all knew
outsider.
exactly about
Always.
ourselves, we'd say, "Oh, there is a gap in my mind, and I need to fill it. And this is a flower, and I'm going to put it within a happy place." That doesn't. That's not the way that people work, especially for someone who's been through this.
Smack me to my senses if you ever
The
see
thing
me
is,
up in that sitch.
Renee, I think for Renee,
That's it.
the reason I argue that there is hope for her to get out
Hope.
is because she was attracted to Joe. The mob lifestyle is not paying her bills anymore with the money that it used to. She used to get the money from murder and drugs and like that's how the family provided for her. That infrastructure is no longer there. That thing faded in the early
Break it
90s.
down.
She doesn't have that
In the
as,
early 90s.
as the
It,
money
it,
maker.
right, it faded in the early 90s, so
And
we
she-
are over 20 years later.
I know. So that part of the mob
and
thing is
she's
gone.
20 years
still,
later.
She still has money.
and she's still holding on.
but I'm saying
But
that
you think suddenly she's free.
I'm saying the mob life that she's not meeting with mobsters. Like she's not in the. She wasn't
She hasn't
in the
been doing
gang.
that for
She's like
20 years.
gangsters. Have a
Exactly. So I'm
sit
saying
down.
the
Right,
only thing
okay.
that she still loved about the mob world was this bad man who was connected to it.
Right.
It was a way
Got it.
for her to go back in 20 years. It was a way for her to go back 20 years with that guy.
Is that
and
also
she has
why
made
she
the
was
decision.
still, like on her father's team, and he's telling her not to be friends with Karen? And
Yeah,
when
but
she's trying
I mean
to tell
those
her
are
to
those are
obey
family
all
lines.
his
But her
orders
father's in prison.
from- Exactly, that's my point. He's in prison and he still has that kind of power.
Right,
And
but
you
he
think
doesn't
she's
have power.
free suddenly?
Oh,
Like
no.
in
I'm not
3
arguing
months'
that she's
time?
free. I'm nowhere saying that she's
She's
ever
just
free
saying
from
that
this.
she's on the path.
She's
on
on
the path.
She has made,
Recognizing.
she has
She's on the
made,
path.
she has made
Righteousness.
positive
on the path.
decisions. She has made positive small step
Celebrity
decisions, such as
rehab.
getting a job, searching for a new man, turning the page, seeking better
went back to the
relationships.
same job.
She's made better decisions
least she's
to get
working.
herself out.
And human
went back to the
changes
same
don't
job.
come like
And if anything,
you know what I mean? They come in
rappers.
small.
We're here, girl.
if anything, her revelation that Joe Jr. is just destructive for her, whether he comes back or not, that revelation that she had is going to last forever.
But
she
she
will
knew that
always
in the
know.
first of the season.
But she
Yeah,
was still
but she
addicted to
made
it.
that
She
comment
will
in the beginning
always
of the
know.
season.
It's
Yeah.
like an addict when they're addicted to drugs.
Yeah, and
it's
they
the day
recognize
they
she's
realize
an
that
addict.
it's
Oh,
bad.
that's a problem.
She wasn't.
I
The day
concur.
they realize
An
I
addict
can't
to
let this happen.
bad.
You still,
It
they
doesn't
still
mean they
might
won't
go
die.
back to it,
Doesn't
but
mean
they
won't die,
know.
but they know.
No,
Once
yeah.
in the- okay, so
Agreed.
now she knows that she's in the mob cycle
And that is
will still
that
be
is-
in the mob
that is-
cycle.
That is often the best.
book.
That is often the best signal that someone will that has hope to succeed.
As long as you're aware.
Well, no, it's not like the
Coney wins.
the
Ding,
be
ding,
all
ding.
end all, but it
Where
is.
are we?
Courtney Bye.
But
I'm just
I will argue.
arguing
But then
the
I'll
other
argue.
side.
I'll argue against her because
arguing the other side.
then you see her in this fight with Karen and Drita at the end, and you see
was excited
the
about it.
bloodlust in her, like
it.
in her eyes, in her teeth. She loves to sink herself into drama because that's what excites her.
Thank you, Pat.
And that by the law of attraction, people emit their emotions. That if you are thinking bad thoughts, you attract bad things to you. If you're
course.
thinking good
If you
thoughts,
put a
you
certain
attract.
energy out there,
it's
you're gonna
the
get that
law of
shit
attraction
back.
across all boards. And she emits good energy when bad things are happening. She's attracted to drama and bad things, and that's never
Well,
going to work
Drita
out
got
well
her
for
share of bad things coming her way this episode.
You know, but Drita, out of all of them, has tried consistently to think positively. To think, she just has an anger. She definitely has a chronic
Of
anger.
course.
A really bad anger.
Like,
Like
Anger
she
issue.
definitely needs to go on some kind of like
Yeah.
Levitra. Like I don't even know what the fuck Levitra is. She needs a pill or
I was gonna
something.
say, what does
some
Levitra
counseling.
do?
I think there's some chromosome thing going up in there. I think definitely like that's chronic anger issue.
I
No,
don't know.
no?
I think like maybe she could just talk to somebody about it and
think?
like learn how
Just
to
talk to someone.
Yeah, just learn how to manage it. I mean, we all have a bend to
You
a
guys are
certain
real
way.
optimistic. I must be
You know
really
what I mean?
pessimistic
Yeah,
about
you.
people.
Yeah. You're like there's no hope. She should be in
Everyone
prison.
has
too.
like
girl,
you can look
break
at
it
someone
out.
else's
There
anger
are some
problems.
things. I mean, I just feel like something like without like major like without. I mean, I don't know. Everybody believes different. Without some kind of divine extraterrestrial, whatever you believe in, intervention, some
Extraterrestrial.
things
Love
just people are people and people are not inherently good.
But then how would they
Yeah.
be? No,
And
I agree, I
think
agree.
that like it sometimes it's like that cycle with Renee, unless when I say like some kind of major thing has to like be corrupted or changed or altered or moved, like I feel like there has to be like a movement of planet Earth for her to change her life. She's 40, 45 years old. You've been in this cycle your entire. You know how hard it is to break simple habits.
But the thing is,
we're
arguing
silly habits.
You just threw out my cigarettes right now.
But we're arguing two different. We're arguing two different points.
The mental,
because
you know, that's like a chemical dependency. But think about like just like emotions and psychological crap that humans like in general, even healthy humans, get caught up in mess. She's not a healthy human to begin with.
We're only arguing that there's hope. We're only arguing that there's hope for things to get better. We're not arguing that it's going to be
that she's like she's figured it out.
That's really amorphous. Like
it's a dream.
There's
it's
always
a dream
hope
state
for something.
Exactly.
But if you,
it's like, now what are you gonna do about it?
Never have we said it's gonna be like when God created the world in 7 days. Never did we say that the page is gonna turn and all of a sudden it's a new book.
Honey, it's gonna take longer than 7.
With the long lives that they live, with the awful things they've been through, it's gonna go. It's gonna go for a while. But you need positive signs in order to move anywhere.
I mean, but she has to be
progressing, not regressing. Whether it's 2 steps or no steps, she's progressing, not regressing.
I think she's just walking on the wheel.
This fight at the end, we haven't even gotten to Karen. You know, we've been fighting for Renee, talking for Carla. Karen, who I defended a little bit earlier.
Karen sucks.
Karen fucking sucks.
She sucks.
And it's so unfortunate.
I almost was on her team briefly.
Me too, because we both have scars on our foreheads.
They got stabbed in the head.
See, now that's what.
That's
why I was like.
Tanya was thinking deeply about this. You share something with her. You have a sisterhood with her. Scars in the mob. You know, Tanya was actually in the mob back when she was like, you know, sorority girl. Hayes was a big thing.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
But Karen, okay, so Karen, before this fight happened, to me made sense this episode. Like, until it went way south.
Until she was like it's my chapter party.
When she was talking to Renee, she was like, I don't know what, like, I didn't write about Lee. Like, I hope this all works out. Like, she's my girl.
Stemming off of a huge miscommunication.
And like, so Karen doesn't, and she's like, okay. And then Karen's like, yeah, sure, like, I'll meet up. I'm happy that you're returning my phone call. I'm happy that we got a chance to talk. Okay, we're all good. Then they sit down. And what the fuck was that?
Everything.
So Drita, oddly enough, kept herself in check for quite a little bit.
For a long time.
Even Renee was like, once it started to get, she was like, people are here. And I was like, Renee, you've ever been embarrassed that people are watching you? Like,
I know,
as if, like, and then, so Drita's like, it doesn't make sense with this timeline thing. And then Karen just goes off her boat. She's like, it's not about Lee. You are my girl. You my girl. And Drita's like, we didn't talk.
Like, maybe you thought we weren't.
And Carla had a really great analysis of it. Carla was like, maybe Drita, like they weren't like Karen thinks that they were friends.
Well, that's
when
what
they
I mean.
weren't.
Yeah, like one person's perspective is a lot deeper than the others, and
but
they're
if you
like,
haven't talked to somebody in a year or two, like, are you really that close of friends?
I mean, I have best friends that like if I talk to them like once a year, I'm like, we're still like.
It's like
I have friends like that.
Yeah.
You're like right back to where you were.
But I mean, it seems like their relationship to Drita was that they were very, very close.
Right.
And then for whatever reason, they just kind of didn't stay attached. Sure, they could meet up for coffee again, like have fun.
Of course.
But they weren't involved in each other's lives in the way that they had been, so they weren't.
So would you be tripping on that?
Because Drita probably lived in an environment where she had other friends. Where she where she wasn't valuing the relationship to the point where, you know, she would always have that girl's back. You know, she could move on. Whereas Karen, it seems was alone. And that's why she was so disrespected that her one friend had ruined her life after 2 years, you know?
Which, I mean,
this is us saying Karen doesn't make many good friends. Which is
because she fucks everybody's man.
Which then,
wait, but I don't understand why you guys are saying that. Like, what?
Oh, you're so cute.
I
love you.
What? No, wait, what are you not?
Why did you guys say that all the time?
Does
she? That she has sex with other people's
did
boyfriends?
she not admit that tonight?
She did.
She did.
No.
Oh, no, not with other people's boyfriends. Just that she.
No,
they only made out. Isn't
that
that is only made out.
No.
Oh, I didn't even know that she said
that.
I didn't
her
fuck
man
them. We only made out. I'm like, what?
One at a time. This is not Mob Wives. This is the after show.
You're getting me riled up here.
Damn, we are crazy. We had one glass of champagne and we're like,
Somebody give us a reality show. Then what?
but so Drita didn't seem like wanted to even share that. Didn't even want to bring that up.
No, because she could have brought that up
you
first.
could see it in her face. She was getting to that point where Drita can't control herself.
Yep.
I was like,
she
blacked out.
Yeah, she said it.
And the music
it
too.
was
It's
just
like da-da,
Nicki Minaj just got out of it and she's like, I'm a motherfucking monster. And she just dropped that shit. Dropped that line and it's like, you hooked up with my boyfriend while
So
I
we
was
wouldn't
dating,
even
like,
be friends for
like
real
as if
anyway.
who's a bigger crime? And then Karen tries,
was like, yeah,
to rationalize cheating multiple times. She's like, I was still with Lee. Yeah, I sucked a few dicks. Yeah, I sat on top of a few cars with some boys. Yeah, I was tramping around. Yeah, I have 9
but
boys.
we were still together.
But we were still together. I'm sorry.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Stebbin will walk out on Oprah if that was what's up. That's not how
No,
it
but
works.
that's true. Yeah,
You're
she
not-
was like not serious
She was like,
about him.
she was
obviously.
like, I was still with Lee. It doesn't matter that I cheated multiple times and didn't care for him. I was still with him because I'm lonely. That's what she was really saying.
right.
She wasn't
wasn't
that
And
lonely.
even Drita,
No, that's true.
was like, what the
She
fuck?
wasn't lonely. She was a hoe.
Like, are you for real right now that you're trying to rationalize this crazy ass like dedication to Lee when you cheated like and you're flipping the tables on me like I'm the villain?
Right.
What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm getting involved.
No, I mean.
What
that's
have these
true.
women done to my life?
I
need to watch
Doing
happier
amazing.
shows. Where's Glee?
I know. Where's the happier show?
No
These
happier
tricks.
shows. This is perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Karen.
Bless you.
Bless you,
It's
Tanya.
perfect in its imperfection.
And I just, and I got annoyed with the whole timeline argument anyway, because it's like, y'all grown
No, I mean,
ass
it
women.
made sense,
Okay.
though,
Cares?
because it was like, Drita seemed to have command of, like, this is what the timeline was. And then it was Karen who was like, no, it wasn't 97. It was a little bit into 98. And it wasn't late 99. It was early 99. And she was, like, negotiating it so that it would seem more like Drita.
But I get
And I was like,
Karen's
oh, but I
argument.
get it, yeah,
I get Karen's
yeah.
argument that it's
Totes.
not even about
It's not about
Lee.
the time. It's,
It's
like
about
you
friendship.
dated
It's that
a
you
boy
didn't
that I
tell
was
me.
very
It's
serious
that you
about.
didn't tell me.
And you didn't tell me.
You didn't tell me.
That happened to me.
And that's not
I can't
cool.
talk about
like
that.
in
It was,
the
like,
end,
really
it's like
upsetting.
we don't have to be the best friends ever. But
But I mean, at least a little tip. Like, listen.
I'm hollering. But at the same time, she was in Arizona and they
Okay.
weren't talking anymore. So it's
She
kinda
was
like,
in Arizona.
Would it be awkward? Like, if I'm
No.
Drita and
You
I'm
tell
not
the
talking
person.
to you no more, and
I think
I'm
that would be
just call you
totally
up out of
awkward.
blue, like, by the way,
First
I'm
of all,
humping Lee
what,
now.
like,
Okay.
what would, I'm humping
Okay.
so that's
Lee
kind
now.
of weird.
And I feel like Drita's
is
my
why they should
favorite.
both drop
But
it.
I also feel like she brought that shit up again because number one, she's frustrated, and number two, she needed to get all the facts out there on the air
she
for the
wanted to get
rest
out
of
the
us to
way.
see.
But I think Drita did not want to share that. She
No.
just had to. She was like, I am
Absolutely.
so angry that I'm going to throw.
But I think it was
fuel
also a
into this.
little bit of misplaced anger because she's so frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
But
But
it also depends on, like, how long the other girl was with. Karen was with Lee. How long were they together?
Karen was with everybody.
See,
That shit
7
doesn't
years
matter.
is a long
That is.
time.
But
And, like,
is it
obviously,
long if you were like 15
Yeah,
to
but I
22?
don't
Talk
Right,
to
because-
my boyfriends from 15.
Dude,
who cares?
because that's like if you're
That's a
with
part of your life.
That if you're with someone for 7 years, from 15 to like
Delete.
whatever.
No way.
No, I feel
On to
like
the
I mean it
next.
depends on the relationship,
Just the
but
people.
that's when you make every single big change that will ever happen in your life.
You're in high school,
and
you're
you
in
go
college,
through
you're
it
getting
with
your
that
first house,
person.
like, you know?
I feel like that's like
Those
really
are formative years.
I
She could've been in
dated
love.
my college
I
boyfriend
love
for
your
5
passion
years.
for this.
and,
I mean, I
I
just
really
think
do.
it's
I
true.
think
I
you're
think
so innocent.
I dated someone for 4 months, and I still think about them because it was that much of a relationship.
But it's like, but
That's a formative part of who you are.
Yeah,
Yes,
especially
but that's
if you're going
the
through like
formative
the
part of
biggest
who
changes of your
you
life.
are. That's you. That's not the other
Karen is
person
arguing
or
that's
the
her.
other person that you're dating. And it's not my job to make sure that everything about your formative
no,
life,
no,
when
no.
we're not even that tight to begin
Entirely.
with, is okay.
I think it, but I think we're just
Grow
making sense.
up.
I think we're making sense of both sides, and that
I agree.
It makes sense that
Karen, you
Would
suck.
be upset, right? Like I
it
get
makes
both
sense
sides.
that Karen would be upset. It makes sense
It
that
makes
it means
sense.
so much.
Yeah, that it
doesn't
means so
make
much to
sense
her.
that it means so much.
Her behavior doesn't make sense. Maybe in her rationale, it makes sense. Her emotions make sense.
No, totally. I
Her
think
logic,
that's very
her
agreeable.
logic and her reaction
Fine,
does not.
have your feelings hurt. But why are you
Drita's
so
the
Exactly.
same way.
Have your feelings
Drita's
hurt.
the
Write
same
your
way, though.
fucking
But then
book. Get
also,
over
they're
it.
being made to like be in a show together, and like
Yeah, of
obviously,
course.
like in real life, like you just wouldn't hang out
You
with that
just wouldn't
person.
care.
But they're being made to hang out with these people, so
Therefore, we have
Thing is,
drama.
Karen,
it's kind
this
of
is why
yeah,
Karen
an
to me,
unnatural situation.
And
That's
that's
what
why
Karen
we
to me
stay
is,
in.
and we even know
tuned
that
in all the way.
Karen's sister, isn't it Karen's sister who's the
Or her
It's
cousin.
Renee's sister.
Renee's sister. So like you know that Karen was imported for this show. Like, she shows up in New Jersey and is like, all of a sudden I'm here and I need to be respected again.
Jersey,
and everyone looks at her and they're like,
oh, and by the way,
Staten
she is
Island, sorry.
contemplating moving back to Arizona in this episode.
She needs to.
Yeah.
I'm
She
over her.
does. She does. Go home, girl.
Go home.
But it's
Go
so
home.
weird that all of them, like, she's
Be with baby daddy.
She's been transplanted
After writing
here
one
for
chapter.
the reason of drama.
Yeah.
And just feeds on it.
And it's like, wow.
You know? And then, so
They're
then
like
Drita.
rehashing old issues.
she's
So
a
then
daughter.
Drita and
Like,
Karen
what?
give us the best fight of the entire season.
Oh my
I mean,
god!
and we've seen some fights.
My favorite is her
Drita
little
is the-
butt wiggle. Like, did you see her when
Oh
she was
my
like,
God.
Her
she was
little
like,
genie pants. She was like,
Her little spanks.
the security could not get
So
it. Actually reminded me of when you watch like those animal mistakes when an alligator when an alligator bites a trainer and they can't get the alligator off, and everyone's like, I want to get this alligator off, but it might just bite me too. So like,
That alligator is doing
when I was
exactly
watching, I was
what
like,
it was
this
supposed to
looks
do.
like-
It's an animal.
I was like, this looks like a lion straight up on a gazelle.
Well, they
like,
say women are the hardest to break up.
Honey, I am the
fights
same way. I
for.
see red like that. That girl blacked
was
out.
crazy.
That was insane.
And Karen comes up with
Karen's
her like, hey,
why?
we're
No,
broken
she's
up.
like, if she's the girl that don't pull hair, why was she pulling my hair? Because she was trying to drag your raggedy ass across the floor.
She was trying to kill
And
you.
because
She was not pulling your
Renee
hair.
was
She's gonna
like,
punch you.
Renee was like, under the table, boom, and like throws her on the table. Drita's like, I'm gonna get you at that table.
Renee was trying to protect her. And
Renee,
she's like,
power to
good
Renee.
job.
Renee was
Spanx.
trying to protect
Spanx,
Karen.
girl.
And thank
Good
you for those
job.
things, because we could have had some
Thank you.
blurry
We would've
crotch
had
right
some
there.
real scary
Yeah,
calls.
that's true.
That would have been
That
like a
would've been
season
scary.
finale. I would not be tuning in for next season if I had seen that picture.
no.
I loved that we reveal her Spanx, because I was like, she looks
too.
kind of
She
cute
came-
tonight. And then it was like,
She came dressed appropriately for the
Karen.
occasion.
She knew what was
Or
going
yeah.
down.
It's-
Renee.
as
They
well-
told her, like, wear sneakers.
As well as Drita,
Yeah,
because
she
I
wore
was the only
sneakers,
one
she
that
wore
requested
heels,
up in
she
that
wore
meeting. She
sneakers,
came prepared.
wear like bulletproof
And I
vest.
love
Like,
how Carla was like, nowhere.
Carla was just like,
Carla was
this
like,
shit's
"Come
crazy.
on,
Bye.
Dude, Carla and Renee
Yeah,
are
she
both
doesn't
just
do
like,
that.
and then
Which
it's
is
like,
so
take care of
classy.
it.
It's like,
Yeah,
come on,
debatably
why?
But then,
But she-
what's her name? Karen was saying
Classy for the
she would
group.
square
the
up
group.
if she
Well,
thought
that's the thing.
this
She
was
was
gonna.
saying,
Oh,
why
that's
don't you make it a fair?
bullshit.
That's crap. That's not how you
bullshit.
fight, Trey.
You
are at
you
a
gotta be ready for
rooftop.
any given moment.
Nobody says, okay, let's fight.
You know?
You
Hold
ready?
on.
Go. Okay,
Ding,
you got
ding,
your.
ding.
No,
And
Trey.
where would it have been like, hey, we're on a rooftop bar in New York, Soho.
I know.
Let's square up.
You know?
Fucking no.
Ah.
It was crazy.
Where are your
Rocco
gloves?
Sacco.
Did you bring gloves? Mine are
But
pink.
how much of a good season finale? Like,
That was a
what
great
a good
season.
So
end.
perfect.
I love how they edited
So
when she
perfect.
first, when Karen
When she
jumps
picks
up
up
and
the
then she picks
candle.
up the candle. She's like,
She's like, oh,
It's like, what? You're gonna throw the candle? You're gonna throw the fire? You're gonna set the girl on
She's gonna set
fire.
the
She's
girl
like,
on
I'm a mom
fire.
wife.
If
Oh
you
my
guys-
God, you
like,
bust
that's
my
intense.
Uzis.
If you are watching the
That
video of
is
this
intense.
online, you can see us reacting to.
and obviously it's sitting.
it's
right there
playing
now.
back right now.
Oh my God. Look at that
I
little
just
loose
can't.
bang right there.
She and her just dumb face. She's just like, yeah, I fucked them all.
She's
Yeah.
like, and?
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
I don't know. We never.
Somebody should
we-
just
And
smack
wait,
her.
my
She-
favorite is Renee. She's just like, when is this gonna happen?
Renee is
Oh, she
literally
knows
just
what's
like,
gonna happen.
I don't
Favorite.
need to.
Karen is the one calling Drita a whore.
All
when-
this time.
Right.
Okay, I just
We
want to
know
say
who's
we don't
sleeping
see any
around.
flashback pictures of Karen. Drita's still hot. What was Karen back in the
Exactly.
day
She
that
was
she was getting all this
hot.
Drita
Maybe she was
juice?
skinny.
It doesn't take much.
I mean, I don't know.
Hey,
Like,
you don't have to be skinny to get booty.
No, you don't. Not at
You
all.
just have to be
but
free.
You gotta look good.
You just have to.
you just have to be free in Jersey. Well, why don't, so it ended up, it
Staten
had a,
Island.
sorry, they just remind me of Jersey.
So funny.
Well, this was the huge season finale.
was
Huge fight. And
really
actually,
tight. Big
time.
you know, the rest of the episodes, I was kind of like, these are getting a little boring. You know, they're not always so interesting. This was literally the perfect
Phenomenally
end.
wonderful.
for a
Sunday
season
night
finale.
dinner, part 2.
A perfect end, and they cut it off
Sunday night
right
dinner.
where they were like additional
2
footage on. I have to
want
go
it
see that additional
now.
footage.
Like, why do we have to wait till July 10th to see
I
it?
know. I
I
wish
love
there was
that.
a second part of this
oh,
finale.
it's only July 10th.
And
I thought
I
it was gonna be so
loathe sequels.
Well,
Hate sequels.
everyone,
wish there
if
was
you're
a second
if you're
part.
fighting at home, if your man's in prison or whatever, why don't you give us a call and we'll talk to you a little bit about
Please,
it.
we wanna hear.
But we're gonna change our
man's in
tone when we
prison.
come back from a commercial, and we're gonna talk to Tanya about some amazing
Tanya.
experiences and change
yeah,
this so that my endorphins are kicked in rather than my anger hormones.
Yeah.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
All right, everyone.
They have the
Welcome
best music.
back.
Yeah, they do.
The Big Bang.
The reason I'm alive.
All right,
That's
everyone. Well,
stiletto
thank you
touches
so
that
much for
music.
listening
Yes, get
to our
them
Mob Wives coverage.
Bye, Mob Wives.
But you may have been wondering this whole time, Tanya, she's a new character to this show. Tanya, who is
Hey,
this girl?
girl.
Well, actually, she's our special guest of the week. Tanya is quite the accomplished young actress, and you can see her coming up soon in season 3 of Big Time Rush.
True that.
Among many other projects that you can see. Now, there are quite a few questions that I have for you. Not only have you appeared in many of the franchises that I call home, I need to know more about who you know, what you're up to, and how you got into this whole world.
Okay.
So, Tanya, some of your biggest claims to fame.
My biggest claims to fame. Whoa.
Big Time Rush.
Well, yeah.
Huge.
It's
It's so successful.
Yeah.
People love the show.
lot of fun.
It's grown
so
such a
much
huge
fun.
fan base so quickly. And now you're renewed for a 3rd season.
Yeah, it's so
And
exciting.
I don't see an end in sight. So tell me about your character on Big Time Rush.
My character, her name is Kelly Wainwright, and I play the assistant to the manager of the boy band. So, like, the whole show is pretty much like The Monkees, if you've ever seen that show.
I love that
It's
show.
great. It's just so, like, it's very, like, base comedy, like Rule of Threes, like, very,
Yep. Very sitcom.
yeah.
Yeah, smart sitcom.
So it's fun. It's really fun. And I love working for Nickelodeon because everyone's like family. Like you go to work and it's like, oh,
like the
I get to
Olive
laugh
Garden.
for 19 hours.
Now-
it's like the Olive Garden, except not terrible.
Now, so what?
I'm just kidding. I love the Olive
Don't
Garden.
lie,
I love
girl.
eating at the Olive
Olive
Garden.
Garden.
I don't like
Uh,
working at the Olive
Now,
Garden.
we all grew up watching whatever shows we did when we grew up. For you, what were the biggest shows, like Nick at Night, or like what were the Nick and Disney
you a
shows
Nick at
that
Night
were?
girl?
Oh my God, girl.
Yes.
Like
Y'all
what
have
were
no
your
idea.
what were your formative shows?
Okay, all that.
This is
all that.
all that. I love that we just broke into unison.
That was
Love it.
fantastic. We're all getting slimed right now.
Wait. Oh yeah.
This is all that.
This is all that. All right, bring it down, DJ Jesse.
Lisa.
So
So
Tanya,
perfect. And it was always
know.
preceded
Tip your
by
40.
the Roundhouse. At the Roundhouse.
I actually have to thank you because nobody remembers
Oh, yeah.
Roundhouse.
Sick. Yeah.
So Tanya,
Totally.
is it weird to you now, or what does it feel like? You know, you think about all that and what it meant to you as a kid growing up. To think about the people who are watching the show that you now are on, that you're a part of their lives in that sense. You know, I vividly remember all of those shows that I grew up with on Nick, and Nick is such a family-oriented
Stiggly.
network. And here you are on this show. I mean, how did you land this job, and what has it been like for you?
Well, it was just like a normal audition, really. I mean, the role originally wasn't a series regular role, so it was just a recurring role. So it wasn't like a very intense audition. It was like an audition, a callback, and then I did a callback for the producers and the writers and stuff. And at my callback, like 3 of my friends were there, like for the same role. So it was like very fun. It was just like no pressure. And then when I got it, it was awesome. And they kept using me and using me and using me. And then they just asked me at the end of the first season to be a series regular, which is awesome.
Yeah,
it's like such
girl, get
And how does that conversation
Answer to
happen to you?
prayer. I
You
mean-
know, how does do
Well,
they call
I
you in
mean,
the
I
room and say like, hey, like
think-
we've been seeing you every day on set now. Why don't we just sign in to say let's do this?
I think a few different things. I think that like the comedy between myself and Stephen Glickman, who plays my boss, like we just had a really good rapport. So like that kind of relationship on the show developed in such a way that it became like a staple of the show. So it wouldn't make sense for me not
To discontinue, yeah.
Yeah.
Or to not develop that more
right
when it provides good entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like also my character is one of the only straight people on the show. So like everyone else, all of their characters are very kind
Over
of
the
like
top.
out there, over
Yeah.
the top. And I'm always the one that's like, okay, but we need to get some work done.
Yeah.
Like that I bring it back. So I think all of those things kind of
Combined.
combined
Yep.
made it like, oh, it makes sense for her to
And
be
you're
on the
not
show.
a diva on set.
No, I'm not.
No, I've heard from many of the
not.
people that you worked with that
not.
you are one of their favorite people to work with, though you've played divas before. One of whom is it was a role that I'm superbly jealous of you. High School Musical, I went on tour as Ryan.
You did? Shut the front door.
Shut the front door.
Do you know
High
Sterling?
School Musical 2.
Sterling?
I did the regional in New England.
Okay.
So like I didn't do, there were like 1,200 tours, like there were a million of them. Point being, High School Musical 2, I had a huge party for the premiere. So yes, I recognize you from your role as a Sharpette. What was, now that movie, when that movie, High School Musical 2 came out that summer, which summer 2009? 2008?
Oh, I know.
Somewhere
I have
in there.
No idea.
Was huge. Was
Yeah,
the
it was
movie.
big.
It beat box office records. It beat everything.
Yeah, it was like the most viewed television
movie
event ever.
That summer I literally remember all of the ramp up for that. What was it like? Because by the end of High School Musical, those kids were superstars.
Yeah.
I mean, Zac Efron, Vanessa, like they were all huge. Ashley Tisdale she already had a record out.
Yeah.
What did it mean when you got that role to think, oh my God, I'm part of this huge franchise?
Honestly, when I first got it, like I didn't know. I kept on like flipping through the channels and I was like, what is High School Musical? I don't get it. And even once I booked it, like I didn't understand
the phenomenon that it was.
No, I
Global
didn't. Not
phenomenon.
until like literally after I shot it, like after it came out, I didn't know. Because
How?
I mean, I'm not like a 16-year-old. So
Yeah.
I wasn't like in,
You weren't in the
that
demographic
world,
that was
right?
upset. And
So I had no idea. But the whole process was really cool. Like, I mean, working with all the people, which was so awesome, and like, we shot in St. George, Utah, which was super fun. It was like you go for 6 weeks and you hang out by the pool all day, and then like you shoot all night and
by the pool too.
And you're doing like musical numbers. Like it's so
Like
fun.
I think I could pencil you in for that.
Yeah. And Kenny Ortega, obviously.
Yeah.
Who's just like a genius. And he's so, like, I come from a theater background. Like, I studied theater in college. And it just makes such a difference. Like, he knows the theater. He knows, like, you know, like the cabaret and like all of these different influences that he puts into his movies. It's like, it really makes a difference.
Do you come from a musical background too?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I studied theater with an emphasis in musical theater.
Oh, wow. All right. So if there was one dream role that you would have in musical theater, you know, if this, and have you ever thought of doing Broadway? I mean, you're doing well on television and film.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do it. I think nowadays the way just the industry works, that you need to do film first in order to like make money or like be good in theater. Dream role. I mean, one of my favorite musicals is West Side Story.
Yeah. So where would you?
I probably
be Maria
would
or
never
Anita?
play. No, Anita for sure.
Anita.
I would
Anita's
never
the star
play
of that.
Maria. I don't have
Anita's-
that falsetto.
And Anita's the star of that movie.
Yes, exactly.
Best supporting character is the best supporting character.
Totally.
So then you're on the set of High School Musical too, and so what were? Because I still could sing all the songs in that. I have them on my iPod still to this day.
Awesome.
What was your favorite scene to be involved in?
That was. I totally know this. Okay, so, what song was it? It was the song where like they had all of this.
Setting.
Okay.
Fabulous?
No, it wasn't Fabulous. It was like they had all this pyrotechnics in the middle of the night.
The music in you? You got the music.
Yes.
Sorry, everyone. I am a High School Musical.
Yeah, you are. I don't even remember. I did it, and I have no idea.
You're on set.
Yeah.
I'm watching like I want to be an extra.
Yeah. But it was so fun, and we shot all night, so it was like
Na na
kinda,
na na.
yeah.
Na
But
na na.
exactly. But the choreography was so great, and then like every time there was like all these fireworks that were coming out of the stage, and you just felt like
so romantical.
I'm a superstar. Like that's how it felt. It was so.
So where were you when you watched the premiere?
Our baby's spreading her wings.
Yes. We actually the premiere we had at Disneyland.
Yep.
Awesome.
The happiest place ever.
And who out of all of the
Best thing ever.
superstars that were in that cast, and you know they've all kind of gone their separate ways in a sense. Zach and Vanessa are still on. What was Vanessa like?
She was nice. I mean, honestly, I didn't get to know Vanessa that much. I feel like all of the stars of that movie were like in a very funny place in that like when they like when they explained it to me, like when they first got the job, it was like an untitled project. Like they had no idea that it was gonna be so huge. Then so when I started on was like the summer before the second one came out. So it was like after the first one was like so big. And so I think that they were all in like the strange place that they were like, oh,
Newly
we're
famous.
celebrities. And like they just didn't know, which I get. Like I'm very like hyper conscious like when I'm on set, like if there are celebrities on set, like just like, oh, this person just wants to talk to me because I'm a celebrity. I feel like they were going through that weird like,
so
I don't know.
Who if any did you get to spend time with or talk with or
Lucas and
now Lucas, you know, is my favorite.
So
Lucas plays Ryan.
Right, I know.
And Ryan was my role on the tour.
Like
I love
my
that show.
favorite.
He was amazing.
He's such a good actor and like such a cool person. Like he plays guitar, beautiful singer. And actually, what I thought was cool is that he said that he modeled his role after what's his face's role in Wet Hot American Summer, which is my favorite movie.
Which they're doing a sequel
Bradley
to.
Cooper.
Yep. Oh, really?
Yeah, his Bradley Cooper's role in Wet Hot American Summer is what he modeled his role after. And I was like, it's my favorite movie ever.
Wow.
So
you get to see. And then what about Ashley?
She's super nice, lovely, lovely girl.
To play her Sharpette. You know?
Yeah. It was really fun. One of the coolest things about Ashley that I remember is like when we were shooting the Fabulous video, this girl
that was my summer anthem. I love it. Sorry. Keep going.
She was sick as a dog. Like in between takes, she was vomiting into a bucket. Aww. And then she'd be like, bleh. I mean, she was like working it. Like she was so good.
She has a long Broadway background too. She started with Les Mis.
The show must go on.
Yeah,
baby.
no, totally. And I was so impressed. I was just like, yep. She didn't complain once.
Like, yeah, you're
just
a badass.
very professional. Yeah.
Now then, you also joined a franchise with. Skies of blue, a dip in the pool, a trip to the spa. The whole world according to moi.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Oh my God. You imported from England. Okay, you can take it down. This will be the rest of the show. I love that song. And then you joined another franchise that we hold dear. Legally Blonde changed the world. And what was your role? How did that all work for you? How did you
played
land
Macy.
Yeah.
And actually, the director of that movie directs a lot of our episodes for Big Time Rush.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
How did that come to your and to side note, agencies, who you signed with, where do you want to go? Tell us more.
I'm with Green and Associates.
Yeah.
Who they're awesome. They're like a smaller boutique type of agency, but they're so great. Like
agents and managers. Is that the same?
Oh, my manager is Michael Abrams, who is the greatest person in the entire world.
Shout out to Michael.
Heard that, Michael.
So
Shout
fun.
out to Michael.
Actually, I met him in college in a breaking into the industry class in college, and like
Really?
it was just so God the fact that I met this person. So, because I wasn't gonna. First of all, it was a 3-hour class on Friday. So like obviously you wouldn't go.
Hungover, you're not going, yeah.
Right. So but I was like, okay, the manager's coming today. I need to go. And so like I was like late. So I was like running into the class and I ran into the class and I tripped like over the stepway and I landed like at his foot, like I hit my head like on the foot of his shoe and it's like, "Oh, are you the manager?" And he was like, "Yes." Like, I'm Danielle, like very embarrassed, but just like
he's like that was great acting.
Yeah. He was like, for some reason I just really like you. And then his phone, like we had the same phone, and he had accidentally locked his phone, and the same thing happened to me like the day before. And I was like, it's the last 4 numbers of your social security number. Like, what's your social security number? And he told me, and I like unlocked his phone.
So
So it was just like, it was like a very like bonding.
Wow,
Yeah, it was
that is
like
meant
really, there were so many things that happened in that hour that we met that we were like, we're supposed to be together. He's just like,
Wait, together?
well, no, not romantically.
Or together.
Together in
Got
a
it.
business sense. He's just like such a nice person and just wonderful.
So
like,
on
yeah.
that note,
story.
you know, you're a beautiful girl, Tanya. You're all, and if you're listening online, you're missing out on the picture of beauty that I am. These ladies are. And Tanya, so you brought it up. I didn't. A romance in your life?
I have no romance.
No romance. Are you looking?
No, I am looking.
Do you want to be a mob wife? No.
No, I don't want to be a mob wife. I just want to be a housewife.
Yeah. You want to be so and
The
give
American
me,
dream.
give me. Are you shooting for an EGOT? You know, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Like, what?
Oh,
What's your
What's
end
your
goal? What's
projective?
your end game right now?
honestly, I want
Just work in 11.
I just want to work, and I want to be able to get to the spot where that I can choose good work and like choose who I work with. Like obviously an Emmy, like Academy Award, it would all be wonderful, but that has never been my goal.
Yeah, it's
like
not the-
I just want to be able to like one of my favorite like actor careers has been like Paul Rudd. Like Paul Rudd
Oh, of course.
is so great. Like he's so
love
funny
Josh.
and he just I love Josh. The waterfall. Yeah, just to be able to work and like do great work and just to be, because I mean, like
Be
what a
artistically
blessing
productive in
to
the way
wake
you'd
up
like.
every morning and be like, oh, I get to go to work today.
Yeah.
Like how wonderful. So
And-
that's what I want to do.
And preference between film or TV. They're similar in the sense, but
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I want to do everything. I want to
Yeah.
do film. I want to do TV. I want to do dance. I
are you
want to.
listening out there, everyone?
Yeah, I'm actually like.
Are you a
really-
dancer?
Yes.
Yeah?
I've trained in classical ballet for 18 years.
Ooh,
Really?
I'm like a
sick.
dancer.
Oh my God! Video
Super
exclusive. I want to see
sick. That's
Fuetes
like real
later. Let's do
motherfucker.
Fuetes.
Fuetes, 32.
I know. Wait, what?
Well, no. Well, maybe we won't do 32 Fuetes, but we'll do some Fuetes.
I was like, wait, you can do 32
I was gonna say
Fuetes?
that's a
Ooh, the
I
challenge
can land
is
two.
on.
Like, wow.
Pat on Tanya.
All right, and
Ding,
Tana,
ding.
you've had some other amazing
I could do a
experiences.
push-up.
Okay, we'll do
some
a
of the
push-up
shows-
contest on the
Some of the
side.
shows that you've appeared on: Corey in the House,
True.
Ghost Whisperer,
True.
Cold Case,
True.
and a personal favorite, Veronica Mars.
True. True. True.
Veronica Mars, you had a recurring role,
True
and
that.
Veronica Mars is a huge, like, classic.
It was. That was
People-
actually the
Cult.
first show that I ever booked. And
Really?
it's so funny because I was like in the middle of it. I was like I was in a sorority in college, and my role was a girl who like wanted to shut down all of the sororities, and like I had this. I had to put all of
Yeah.
my hair up in like a wrap, and I had a bald cap because the storyline of the show was like this guy like raped the girls and then shaved their heads to like
No.
shame them. So like my head was all shaved.
Oh wow.
But it, like my scene was like shut down the fraternity houses. But then in real life I was like, I'm a Delta Gamma.
Delta Gamma Nu.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really funny.
So
That
out
was
of
the first thing that I got.
And what are the shows? Well, I mean, out of all the shows that you've done, what was the most challenging? What was most exciting, and who were you the most excited to work with? I mean, Cold Case, I can imagine, can
Cold
be pretty
Case-
gritty.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't gritty in like the drama of it,
Mm-hmm.
but for that role, I think I got the role because I did ballet for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a really heavy, and you can't see it like in the episode how dance heavy it was, but like for the whole week beforehand, we did like intense dance rehearsals.
You're so modest. You're like, 18 years is just a small thing on my
For
resume.
classical ballet. God.
Brain ballerina, no big deal.
She's like, that's the smallest thing on my resume.
that
Don't worry,
smile. Look at
guys.
her
I'm a
smile so
baller.
humbly, too.
Bowling.
We're just burning her. We're burning her alive. She's blushing. I wish you could see the pain on her face. It's like enjoyable.
We love it. We
Keep
love
going.
it.
Roast her to death. This is great.
No.
But okay, so Cold Case, you're
Roasting, baking.
baking. I know it was.
It's all good. It's all good.
Thank you, guys.
And what was that like for you?
It was so fun. It was just great to be able to use like all of your gifts.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen all the time. So it was nice to be able to be like, oh, and I can also do this.
Atta girl.
And who?
Do it.
What was for the people at like your sorority sisters, or for the people who have loved you and from before you kind of made it, if I may say. What does it mean to you or for them? What do they call you after they see something, or do you watch it with them? What's it like to go home and say, yeah, I'm an actress?
His mom's still like,
Sometimes, oh yeah.
She puts it up on the refrigerator.
I try not to buy. I mean, obviously, like
You're
if
not
there's
bragging,
something,
but-
if there's something that's like is just like the premiere of something, then I'll be like, oh, like come over, and usually I'll like make dinner and everyone will watch it or something. Cute. But I try not to buy. I feel like this industry like makes your head really big
yeah.
naturally, so you have to really fight against that, and I try and do that. It's
That
just
is
a
great.
job. It's
That
like
is great advice.
if someone's a garbage man, like they're not always like, oh, and then I did this today. La, 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 la.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends, I feel like, are also in this industry and have like gone through different paths and like maybe not had the same amount of
Work.
work
success.
that I've had. So it's like it's just not something that you want to like. Yeah.
But what is it? You fans. You have fans out there. Especially, I mean, Big Time Rush, I just know the cult following that it has created among kids. And kids are the best fans to ever buy into.
They're the best
because they will last
they
forever.
They love you. They just they love it.
Was that, I mean, how has that been a part of your life? Is it, they recognize you? Was it on press junkets? Or, is there some comment that some kid said to you that was just like, I'm the luckiest person. I'm so lucky to do what I'm doing.
Like so many. Like I actually have kept every letter or something that a kid has written me, because kids are the best fans because they genuinely, and then that's how I remember thinking of the people and all that. Like if I ever got to meet this person, because to me it's so weird. Like when someone comes up to me and is like, "Oh, you're that girl from the show." I'm like, oh, I'm just a normal person. You know what I mean?
That's my job.
I feel embarrassed about it. But then when I think about maybe how I would have
reacted to that person.
Right. So then I get it.
Because for them, they experience you every week.
Right, and you come into their home.
You're in there. That's what's the beauty of television.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm a TV buff.
Personal.
Is that television is broadcast into your home every week.
Yeah,
you watch it with your friends and you watch it with your family.
And you talk about it. And do
in a
shows
sense,
about it.
become a part of their life.
It's such a blessing. It's so cool.
An honor.
So it really is.
Who do you get starstruck over?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
I love.
Such a great show, by the way.
Show.
Best show.
Have you met any of them?
My favorite show. No, but I really want to. I just want to be
Promo.
in David Cross's movies or Michael Ian Black's movies.
Do it, girl.
Me.
And who is the coolest person that you've, if you had a starstruck moment, that they walked past you on the street, or they were at something, or even they walked onto the studio
They were on the lot, and you were
know?
like, whoa.
You're
Jesus.
Jesus. Huh? Christ.
Yes.
What?
Does that not count?
Hey, that counts.
That's cool. I was like,
a starstruck moment.
I was like, you mean superstar?
Jesus Christ.
Superstar?
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably Bradley Cooper, because he's so cute.
Brad, if you're listening, hope you heard.
So cute.
Remember the time.
Yum, yum, yum.
And so, when did you know you wanted to be an actress? You went to UCLA. You're a UCLA alum.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was one of the more visceral reactions that's ever happened to me. Remember when you first got your car and you were like, I could go anywhere. That feeling in your body, you got it. There's only a few times that I've ever had a super feeling in your body that you could always remember. And the first time it's ever happened to me was when I played the Angel of the Lord in my 2nd grade Christmas pageant.
Oh,
and you knew then and there.
From the very second. I was the first person. All I had to do was this. I had to keep my arms out. And when the play opened, the spotlight came on me. And the very moment it did, I was like,
this is it.
This is it. It was
this is it.
Loved it. It was, I can't even describe everything. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
It was love at first scene.
Really was. Very well said.
Thank you.
But yeah,
stayed up late working on that last night.
I knew, that was what I was supposed to do, which I'm very grateful for, because not everyone has that.
Right. People are still searching.
Yeah, most people.
You're lucky you found it.
It's your moment of
And
inspiration.
You found it so
You're lucky for the hard work
Hang
that
on
you've
to that.
gotten to do and that you're doing.
I am.
So on kind of a side, more personal note. Oh, and I forgot one thing, that I love the movie Fired Up. Fired Up is so funny. What was it like to work on Fired Up?
Okay, so
I love that movie.
That must have been awesome. P.S.
First of all, I was a cheerleader for a long time.
Me too, girl. Her high fiving.
I was a gymnast. Hello.
Tambiendo.
I was the only 8th grader in my entire school to get contracted to varsity.
Oh,
you're such a cool cat.
Wow.
You are such a cool cat, boo.
Destined for greatness.
But it was, it was fun. Actually, the only thing that I had to do the entire shoot was make out with the main character.
That's even better.
Sounds awful.
It was an awesome day at work. Also, it was my boyfriend at the time's birthday. So it's like just making out
happy
with some
birthday.
other dude like all day for his birthday.
And then you got home and I was like, I'm so sorry. I have to wash my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead and don't pick up.
You
that
smell like a
part.
hot boy.
You're just fast forwarding that part of the movie. You're like, don't worry about this part.
So you're here with us at AfterBuzz TV, and founded, executive produced by Maria Menounos.
Yay, Maria!
And
Yay, I love your book.
She's an amazing woman, hard worker, beautiful,
Gorgeous,
and you are very fit. So what, for people listening who look at you on television and say, she's beautiful. How does she do that? Do I have to do that? How does she keep that up? What is it natural to you? How do you work out? How do you keep yourself up? How do you keep yourself from not how do you keep yourself from not in this industry being taken advantage of, or in the sense that like not in the sexual sense, in the starving yourself or doing whatever.
Gotcha.
How do you keep yourself safe, sane, and healthy?
Healthy and beautiful.
Well, yes. I am just naturally like if I don't move, I get like sad.
Okay.
Like sometimes if I get like really sad, I'm like,
Create those
I haven't
endorphins,
worked
girl.
out in like 2 days. So
endorphins
for
make
you-
happy people.
For you, it makes you happier to work out.
totally makes me happier. And sometimes I don't realize that like, oh, that's what's wrong. Like I haven't sweated in like 2 days. But also, like, I love doing yoga. Like, I do yoga at Urban Lily Yoga, which is the greatest yoga
is
studio in the
workout
entire
ever.
world. It's so great, especially if
It's
it's a yoga
hard.
teacher. Okay, so my yoga teacher, whose name is Eleanor Cohen, and you guys should all go to her yoga
Googling
studio
it.
Eleanor
at
Cohen.
Urban Lily Yoga. It's on Burbank and Kester.
Only if you take
Wow.
us.
It's
That's
amazing.
right down the street from my house.
Like, it's the only, really? No, you have to go. It's like, okay.
Only if you're gonna come sweat it out with me, girl.
No,
'cause
I
I'm
will.
gonna need
I
some
will.
encouragement.
She's the
know,
greatest
right?
teacher. Like
This is me in
I've never
yoga.
taken a yoga class where like they teach you like, oh, warrior 2, you're supposed to be doing like a million different things in that pose, and that's what makes it.
So
That's what makes it hard
And
because
then
you're
also-
doing it correctly.
And you
Right.
coming from a dance background, it kind of lends itself to yoga and challenges what you know from dance.
Totally, because everything that you know from dance like ruins your body.
Right. Dance
Everything
really
you
but
learn
makes
in
you small
yoga
and cute forever.
helps
Helps
stretch
your
it,
body.
make it better. Yeah.
Right.
Your body.
So I do a lot of yoga. I do a lot of hiking. I have a little doggy named Oliver, which is like who's the cutest dog in the whole world.
What kind of dog?
He's a wire-haired fox terrier mixed with a Jack Russell. He's like a little scruffer
Wow,
dog.
descript.
So cute.
I want one.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So I do a lot of hiking too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do yoga and hiking. And then I also
So-
do a lot of circuit training.
Oh wow. So you're good about it, and
Oh,
you just
yeah,
keep
no, I
healthy, you
have
eat
to.
healthy, and
Yeah,
Keep
I'm
a good
actually
life.
also reading this book called The Beauty Detox Diet, which is awesome. It's like about like eating pretty much like mostly
Whatever you
live.
want?
Yeah,
cheeseburger?
it's about eating whatever you want and you get super skinny.
and hoping you'll
I'm
be
like,
skinny.
cheeseburger diet, I'm there.
It's about eating live foods and like how it's so great for you. So I'm trying to do more of that too, just eating a little more healthily. But
And what advice do you have, especially because you have a lot of young fans, and many of them look up to you and kind of aspire for what you're doing in your career, or aspire to have a career like yours in the industry. What advice do you have for people coming into the industry? What do they need to do their first step in?
I mean, I think
Because there's so
First
many
of all-
talented people out there.
yeah, there is. So first of all, just realize that it's going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just really be real with yourself. Because I feel like I know so many people who are like, they're 45 and they're still like, my job is to be an actor. And you're like, okay, well.
You're like, go get him, Tiger. Stop talking about it. Be about it.
Right.
Talk
But
about it,
also
baby.
they've been trying to do it for like 6, and I'm not saying like give up on your dream. I'm
Right,
not
right.
saying that, but just like a healthy dose of realism and optimism, I think.
I like that.
Like, go out, do the work, be prepared. Acting is so frustrating because there's 85% of it has nothing to do with you. So the 15% that does have to do with you,
Control that
Do it.
factor.
Do it perfect.
do it perfectly.
Yeah. So is the best bet for people who are out here or coming out here or, want to land on Nick or things like that, what is their best bet? What did you do to navigate into the industry? Was it that you fell on the guy's shoes? Or, was that really the first step?
I always knew that I wanted to do it. I mean, even when I was in high school, I was like, oh, I want to be an actor. I need to be in LA to be an actor. So I was like, okay, I'll audition for UCLA for all the schools in LA. So I auditioned for UCLA and USC, and I got into both of them. And then I actually schools. I actually saw.
How did you make that decision between those particular two schools?
Well, I was just going to get to
Oh my gosh!
A Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode where Will was the. I know. This is how I decided to go to school.
This is what changed your life.
I know.
Yep.
He played the mascot for CULA, and he was like the peacock. Remember
Oh
that?
my
And I was like, oh, that's UCLA. And like, he lived in Bel-Air. Do you remember?
Yes.
So that's how I decided. I was like, oh well, UCLA was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so
You're
that's
like,
where
so
that's where I'm gonna go. Obviously.
Take a break.
Yeah.
So then, when you graduated from UCLA, you had professional studio work before, or no?
No, not really. It was so funny because my first audition was for Lincoln Heights. Do you know that show?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I went to producers for it, which is like the furthest you can go for a show. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so easy. Like my very first audition, I went to producers.
I would be
was
sweating
like,
bullets, girl.
Perfect. But I didn't get it, obviously. And then I was like, oh, it's not
Not that easy.
But I
There's a
just
whole
thought it was
process.
gonna be so easy.
Yeah.
Because my first audition was like, oh, okay.
And who got you? Did you have an agent first, or?
Well, I got my agent through my manager.
Oh, wow.
So I found my manager in college.
Yep.
And then he introduced me to agents, and I still had to audition for the agents.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Oh,
not
totally.
like
They
I
had
just
still
got it.
signed it,
But
yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
And so to move on to where we are now, I mean, when was that? How many years ago was that when you started? When you
6
officially?
years ago.
6 years.
That's
And
a
what?
while.
6 years? Not a
In
long
6
time.
years, you
like-
got that resume, girl?
I mean, 6
Really?
years.
I
Let's
feel
have
like
a
that's
talk.
so long.
No,
That is not long.
I've been
But
out of high
she's a
school almost twice
ballerina.
that.
Yeah.
She's got high
She got some years on that.
I
expectations.
feel like it's
But
a
in
lot.
6 years from now,
That's
I mean,
phenomenal.
I won't be able to look at this paper. But
I
so,
know.
so in the coming year, I asked you before that we started the interview when the next time you're on set to shoot something is. So tell us about what's coming up for you.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna do a Big Time Rush movie.
Is this an exclusive?
Well, I just don't know any of the details about it. But I'm
She
pretty
doesn't
sure
want to put it out there yet.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
But don't and disclaimer: this is not provided
The views
fact.
expressed herein
Yeah.
are those of the host only. Not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz
Exactly.
TV.
That's how you avoid getting fired from
Exactly.
the movie.
Thank
There
you.
it is.
Thank you.
Now you're fine.
Also, I just shot a Chili's commercial.
Really?
Which is so funny because I used to work at Hard Rock Cafe for like 3 years, and our big thing was like the fajitas. And in the commercial, I had to serve fajitas, and the fajita plate kept
The
on
skillet?
burning. Yeah, kept on burning my hand, and I was just like,
I
it was just
remember-
like
You're
such a.
I remember this.
Yeah, it was like
Thank God
it
for
was
my
such
training.
a nice moment. It was
It
like
humbled you. It was
how
like, this is
much
where I
I've-
came from.
Yes. Which had nothing
Serving
to
the
do with
fajitas.
me. Which had nothing to do with me. So it wasn't like, oh, like
Yeah.
how good I've been, but just like how blessed.
Yeah. That you were doing it for acting, not
Yeah,
those
not
people
for
who were
like
actually
a
gonna
job.
eat the fajitas. Yeah.
It was like I almost cried. I was like,
Like,
oh my
I will
gosh.
save these fajitas if my
Chili's
career
commercial.
depends on it.
You should write a memoir.
You
and be
got
like,
it.
The Chili's
The Chili's commercial. It really
That's a lot of
Also,
symbolism.
Chili's is
Wow.
like my
The Chili's
favorite
commercial that
restaurant
released my
ever.
soul.
So we've got a Chili's
into
commercial coming
acting.
up, a potential Big Time Rush movie, potential,
Yay.
allegedly, as Kathy Griffin says, and then
Perhaps.
season 3 comes in.
And then season 3 in January. Yay.
All right, all right.
And is there anything else that I mean, you're set with this show. I mean, the show you've got plenty of work on your plate.
Right.
Are you still going on auditions in
I
hiatus
am.
season? It's
Yeah,
pilot season
totally.
now.
It's such a long break.
Yeah.
So
You need to do something.
usually I would go away somewhere. Like last hiatus, I went to Greece.
Oh,
But it's just
awesome.
Maria knows it well.
really cool. Yeah, I
Yep,
know. She was
she's there
talking
now.
to me about it, about like her favorite Greek restaurants.
Yep.
But this break is just too long.
Yeah.
Like it can't be vacation time.
That's
Right.
good that you're passionate about wanting to get back into your
doing
acting.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like a totally different muscle. Like I started going on auditions, and I was like, oh my gosh, like auditioning is different than working. I think
Yeah.
it's a totally different
totally.
muscle. Like when my first audition, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible actor. I was just like
You're currently you work on set, and the next day you're like, this is so much harder.
It's
It's
so
like
much harder.
Fighting
It's
for
just
the
so
jobs is harder
different.
than having
yeah,
them.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel like you're like, well, I'm working. Like, why don't you just give me the job?
Yeah. Wow.
So
Well, so where can people find you? Do you have a Twitter, a Facebook?
I have a Twitter and a Facebook.
Oh my God, you're so 2011 or whatever it is.
My Twitter is just Tanya Chisholm. My Facebook is the Tanya Chisholm's original fan page.
Okay.
And yeah.
And you can find those if you didn't get it. If you don't know how to spell it, if you don't know how to do it, then you're a fool. But you can also, we will tweet that information out. We will tweet that information out from @AfterBuzz TV, and we will get that information to you. But Tanya, it is such a pleasure.
Yeah, it was.
It really was. Thanks for
so glad you came in.
Thanks for allowing us to have a huge Mob Wives.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Crazy.
so excited about it.
I mean, that was a mob fight that we just had.
I know.
And of course, we would always welcome you back anytime.
Anytime you
Yeah,
want to
come back and give us an update on this
Especially for
alleged
when,
movie.
Or all the time, or
for when Big Time
Sunday.
Rush comes back.
Yes.
For when Big Time Rush comes back,
Yeah.
we are likely to be covering Big Time Rush, and we would love to have you back.
I would love
Because
to be back.
then your commentary will be that much more
Oh yeah.
fishy and interesting. Not saying. I mean, this was
get
quite a fight tonight.
Oh yeah. There's a
Background
lot of things
details.
to talk about Big Time Rush that I
So, we thank you all so much for listening to tonight's coverage of Mob Wives, the season finale. Unfortunately, you won't be hearing us from this show, but you can catch us on many other shows. And of course, you can see Tanya in the upcoming Chili's commercial and upcoming season 3 of Big Time Rush. It has been a pleasure. This is Pat,
Christina,
Courtney.
Tanya Chisholm.
and we appreciate your time. We will see you later. Thank you all so much for AfterBuzz TV.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.